So that's the third one. This would be c squared, which is what we don't know, is equal to a squared, which would be all right, we can simplify this by hand, okay? So what is c squared equal to? Yes, what is c squared equal to? I'm sorry, you're right. What is 11 squared equal to? All right, so what's 121 plus 17 squared? 410. Okay, and then what is negative 2 times 11 times 17? Negative 374 times the cosine of 42 degrees, okay? So we can just plug all of this in our calculator if we wanted to, right? I'm simplifying it this way, but could we have just gone ahead and put it all in our calculator? What did you get for c squared when you did that? Okay, say that again. 0.1. What did you get when you took the square root of that? 11.5. Any questions? Okay. What do y'all want to find next? Angle A or angle B? B, okay. So to find angle B, we'll put 17 squared All right, what is 11 squared plus 11.5 squared? Um, 253 point what? I think I got 0.3. All right, any questions so far? Do you see how I'm simplifying this? Yes, Griffin. You can do law of sines, but the reason I don't and the reason I wish you wouldn't is because when we do law of sines, we have to start, once we switch to law of sines, we have to make sure that we start with the smallest side length. And when we start with law of cosines, we have to start with the longest side length. There are just a lot of rules to remember, and I'm about to show you a really easy way just to throw this all in your calculator. Okay? But that's why we don't, because there are restrictions to ensure that we don't get a second triangle. Okay? So now we would just subtract this 253 from both sides, right? And what would that give us? $35.7, is that what y'all got? And then that's equal to negative 253 cosine of B. And then we'd have to divide both sides by what? Good, negative 253. And we're going to end up getting what? A small decimal, negative 0.1411. Is that what y'all got? Okay, so then we have to do the sine inverse of both sides. So angle B is equal to, the cosine inverse of this negative 0.1411. And that gives us angle B is equal to 98 degrees. Is that what you got? 98.1. Okay, so if angle B is 98.1 degrees, then what is angle A? We just subtract, right? 180 minus 98.1 minus 42. What is it? 39.9 degrees. Or is that what you got? Yes? Okay. Now, that was a lot, right? Can I show you something really fast? I want to show you this on the calculator. Let's go back. Let's forget all of this work right here, and let's go back up to here. You ready? All right, so I can do this all in my calculator. 17 squared minus 11 squared minus 11.5 squared. So I just got rid of this guy and that guy. Do you see? Continuing in my calculator, I can press divided by. That open parentheses is very important. Negative 2 times 11 times 11.5. Which, really, that's pretty much what we had right here. So we're already here. All we have to do now is take the cosine inverse of this. And we can do this by press second. Okay, I'll show you the buttons. Second, x squared, and then press second, and press this negative sign down here to get your answer. Do y'all see that? Second, x squared, and then go back to the second and press your answer down here, this negative sign. And when you press enter, oh, I messed that up. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. I forgot to press the second cosine, so that was my mistake. Let's try this again. 17, okay, clear out your calculator. 17 squared minus 11 squared minus 11.5 squared. So we're good with this. Do you know how I got this, right? Then we divide that by negative 2 times 11 times 11.5. All right, so we're back here. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to take the cosine inverse of this. So before, when I pressed second x squared, I should have pressed second cosine. That's what I needed. And I want to take the cosine inverse of all of this. Now, to get all of this in here, we press second, the negative sign to get our answer, and enter. We get the same answer, 98.1. Yes. But we didn't have to do any of that on our paper and show all that work. Okay, and I'm going to do this one more time with this exact problem, just to clarify. If I would like everybody to do this with me to make sure you know how to put this in your calculator, okay? So instead of looking at me or the wall, you should be looking at your calculator pressing buttons. Is that clear? All right, let's try this again. 17 squared minus 11 squared minus 11.5 squared divided by negative 2 times 11 times 11.5.
Wait, did you put that parenthesis there?
I did. This parenthesis right here, this is like very important. I put it there. The reason I put it there is because we need to make sure that we're dividing by all that, and if we don't, our calculator will divide by negative 2 and then multiply by 11 instead of dividing by that product. Second cosine, second answer, 98.1. Do you see that?
Wait.
Yeah. You want me to do it one more time?
No.
I don't mind. I'd rather do it and you understand.
Did you just put, after you got the negative 0.141 number,
Mm-hmm.
then did you just do cosine?
I did second cosine,
Yeah.
second negative to get the answer there. Who else needs help putting this in their calculator? All right. Any questions? Can we move on to the next problem?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Are you good?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, so next problem. Now, when we're given three sides, guys, for law of cosines, we need to start off with the longest side, okay? What is the longest side, A, B, or C? A?
C.
Oh, no, C.
Do you see why C is our longest side?
Is it because the number's greater?
Right, very good. It's 6 is longer, is a greater number than 4 and 3, so it's the longer side.
Yeah.
So we'll start with 6, and we'll have 6 squared is equal to 4 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 4 times 3 times the cosine of C. All right, are y'all ready to put this in our calculator? Can we just go straight to there?
Yeah.
Is that cool with y'all? Yes, ma'am. We always want to start with our longest side. We want to get that obtuse angle out of there, okay? All right, you ready?
Wait, is there going to be a C one?
Nope, it's our C is not, no, this is not the Pythagorean theorem.
Well,
The longest one will not always be C now. And if you look on the last example, look, our longest side was actually B. Look, Murphy, you see this? See, our longest side on the first one was B.
so it's like the highest number.
It's the highest numbers long side, right, right. Okay, so y'all ready? That's a 6, not a B. Do y'all know that? So 6 squared minus what? 4 squared minus 3 squared. Enter. Now divided by, what do I press next, Patricia? Before that? Before that? Parentheses. Correct? Do you know what I did there? And then we would press, now we press the second cosine, second answer. Do y'all see that? And we get 117.3 degrees. Is that what y'all got?
Yes, ma'am.
Who needs help with this? If you need help, please feel free to whisper to someone next to you or ask me. But do you think this is easier than solving it all by hand?
Yes,
Yeah?
I think so.
Okay. So do we have to do this again? Okay. Let's do this again for angle A. I'm going to go in order from greatest to least. So this is going to be 4 squared is equal to any questions so far? Are y'all ready to put this in the calculator?
Oh.
Are y'all with me here? Did everybody get 36.3 degrees for angle A? Yes? Now, if angle A is 36.3 degrees, how can we find angle B? I'm sorry? Law of sines? At this point, yes, you could use law of sines, but I can think of something even easier than law of sines. Right, it's the fact that we know that the sum of the three angles of any triangle are 180 degrees, right? So this would be 180 minus 36.3 minus 117.3. And how many degrees does that give us for angle B?
26.4.
26.4, is that what you guys got? We're going to trust Murphy with this and call it a day. Any questions on number 2? All right, let's do one more, please, and then we will, and then we'll work on our own.
Number 4.
Why number 4? All right, let's do number 4. On number 4, what is the largest side?
The largest side is C.
Right. And this is definitely one that we're going to want to put in our calculator because these numbers are going to get quite large, aren't they? Just think about squaring 42.3. So 42.3 squared is equal to 24.9 squared plus 32 squared minus 2 times 24.9 times 32 times the cosine of C. It's a lot, just all those numbers, huh? Okay, so let's put this in our calculator. Are y'all ready? Yes, yes, ma'am. Sir, sorry. Yes, sir. Oh, thank you so much. Any questions so far? Other than that? All right, help me put this in our calculator. Alexia, tell me what to write, or type, or press.
Okay, yeah, 32 squared.
Okay? Wait, we already have it up there on the board. It's just putting it in the calculator. So what do we start with?
24.9.
Right, we're gonna start with this 42.3 squared. Good. And then what do we want to take away from that? What? 24.9 squared. And then what do we want to take away from that? Good. And then we want to press enter. Good. And now? Divided by? Oops. What goes next? Very important something. Parenthesis. Good. It's all of this. Remember, we've done that. We're done with this. It's all of this.
Okay.
Do you see that?
So it's
What? Huh?
oh next it's -2 times.
Oops. Sorry. Okay, so now I can go, sorry, divided by -2, okay, times 32. Is that what you guys got? And then now what do I do?
Second, negative.
Second,
It give you the answer.
second cosine,
Oh, second cosine.
second negative, and so you got 95.2 degrees. Did everybody else get 95.2 degrees for our angle C? Yes? Okay, so let's do B. All right, I'm going to do this one quickly because I want to give you guys some time to work on your own. I'm running out of room, okay? So here we go. 32 squared minus 24.9 squared minus 42.3 squared. And then we divide that by -2 times 24.9 times 42.3. And then we take the cosine inverse of that, and we get 48.9 degrees. Is that what y'all got? For those of you working ahead? And what does that leave us for angle A? Remember, angle A is equal to 180 minus 48.9 minus 95.2. And what does that equal to angle A? $35.9 degrees. Are there any questions here? Please raise your hand if you have a question. Yes, ma'am.
For number 5.
Yes.
we need A equals 4.
Give me 1 second and I will look at that.
You got some pen?
I need you to get out of this room. I'm recording, please. Thank you.
Can I see if anybody else got some pen?
Please go. Okay, we are not done yet. You said on number 5, did I mean? Oh yes, thank you. I meant to fix that. Please look on number 5. This should be A equals 4. I rewrote it on some of yours, but on number 5, this should be A equals 4, B is equal to 10, and C is equal to 7. Are there any questions on number 5?
No, ma'am.
Questions going once, questions going twice. Okay, everybody, please take out your signs, your law of signs homework. Those of you who still have questions about it, please take it out. I want to go over, let's look at number 4. I'm going to do this quickly just because of time. But on number 4, remember the law of signs is that sine of A over A equals the sine of B over B, which is equal to the sine of C over C. When we say sine of, we're talking about the sine of that angle, right? So on number 4, how would I set this up, Alexia? Yes, your homework is the rest of the front of this.
The law of signs.
Law of cosines.
Take the sine of.
But if any of you are struggling with law of cosines, or if you were not here yesterday, you need to probably be paying attention. I'm not going to make you if you've already done your work, but if you...
Sine of 71.
Good. Over.
16.
Let me zoom out a little bit here. Sine of 71 over 16, okay?
Is equal to the sine of C
Good.
over 8.
Sine of C over 8, okay? So now what do we do? Good, cross multiply. So that gives us 8 sine of 71 is equal to 16 sine of C. So then what do we do to both sides, Alexia?
You divide them both by 16.
Very good. You divide them both by 16, and that leaves us with the sine of C is equal to 8 sine of 71 divided by 16. Now, Alexia, let me ask you this. How do we find C? Just the angle C.
You take the sine -1.
Good. Sine inverse is equal to
My
of all of this, right?
bad. Yes.
Which is 8 sine of 71 divided by 16. And what does that give you, Alexia? .2 degrees. Okay, so angle C is 28.2 degrees. In our second triangle, it's going to have all the original information as we have in our first. Sorry, that's not a degree. All right. Now, the difference is this angle that we just found. So in our second triangle, it's going to be the supplement of the angle we just found in our first triangle, which means together they equal 180. So to find this angle, we can subtract this from 180, and we get what?
No, never mind. I just said
151.8. Okay, so if this angle, let's assume this were 151.8 degrees, what are these two angles together?
over 180.
Over 180, which means there are no degrees left for this angle. And if this one has 0 degrees, it's no longer a triangle. Do you understand? So there is no second triangle here, okay? Yes? No? Maybe?
No, it's no second triangle.
There's no, but there is a first one
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's no second triangle
because it's greater than 180, greater than 180. It needs to be less than 180 so that we can have a third angle, because you can't have a triangle if you only have two angles, right?
Yeah.
That's silly. Any questions? What it is, it's like if you imagine, it's like they would be too wide for them to ever connect, okay? All right, Alexi, did you want to see, we need to finish this, right? How do we find this angle? Okay, but this angle, we don't have to, we can just guess it, right? Or we don't guess it, we can find it. And then subtract that, and what do we get? $80.8. Okay, and then you would use law of sines again to find A, right? Do you feel better about this? Okay, are there any questions? Okay, please remember that I will not be here after school for tutoring on Thursday, Friday, Monday, or Tuesday. I will not be here at school for Friday, Monday, or Tuesday, but you have been given 2 extra days to review. You will get your review for your test tomorrow. Remember, the test is not until Tuesday, which again is a whole week from today. And you are expected to take your test on Tuesday. If you are not here on Monday, you are still to take your test on Tuesday. Is that clear? If you are not here on Monday, you are still responsible for taking your test on Tuesday. If you're not here on Tuesday, as soon as you walk in here on Wednesday, you're taking your test, okay? We're not pushing this back any further. Is that clear? All right, if you borrowed a pencil or calculator at this time, please return those items.